This is the absolute worst time in history to be a conspiracy theorist. And this is coming from someone who was an avid conspiracy theorist, okay? Took pleasure in debunking and going down the rabbit hole and finding out the connections and putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And now I realize how much of a waste of time that is. The avid conspiracy theorist is no better than the sheep, because both of them see themselves as right, on the right side of history. And it's such a waste of time picking a side, because life doesn't even operate that way. But not only that, you don't realize that you're occupying yourself with something that doesn't move the needle at all for you in terms of creating the life that you actually want to live. It might give you peace. It gives you peace in the beginning, but then it ends up becoming, it gives you a relief. It gives you a little bit of relief in the beginning. It's like, damn, I'm not crazy. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew this shit was fucked up, and I knew all these people were doing all this shit, and I knew these billionaires were evil, and I knew that they was out here sacrificing babies and drinking their blood and doing all this stuff. I knew it. And that's the trap, though, because it makes you right and it makes you validated. Searching for validation is the biggest trap that keeps you from evolving. And it doesn't matter what form the validation takes. If you need to be proven right, you have now taken your ability to say it is what it is because you said so, and that's it, to now other people have to agree with you. Other people have to validate your stance. And now we're in the age of Aquarius, right? And this is why you see so much like just overt corruption just coming out into broad daylight. Because see, these people aren't stupid. And you know who I'm talking about, the elites. And I put air quotes because there's not shit elite about them. If you gotta do all this shit to control other people, what does that say about you? All you gotta do is just boil this down to just everyday life. If you've worked with a manager that has to micromanage every single person, and they have this need to feel important, and they have this need to have to watch every single thing that you're doing. You have to report to me every single thing that you're doing, and I have to watch every single thing that you're doing. They're not really powerful. They feel this big. And you are the reason why they feel this big. And if you withdraw your energy from them, now they have to deal with the fact that they feel this big. So they actually need you. And that's how this whole shit works. But they are so good at hypnotizing you through trauma, through propaganda, through all the channels of things that they have to keep doing. It's like that's crazy. Like, when you think about it, you gotta do all this shit. Wars, what is it? Psyops, war, sex trafficking, child trafficking, racism. You gotta do all of this just to maintain your stance. You ain't shit. Somebody that's really powerful don't have to do all of that, because you get your your sources inside of you. Somebody that's truly powerful ain't worried about what nobody else got going on. Nobody else. They're not concerned, because it has literally nothing to do with you. It ain't got shit to do with me. What you're doing has nothing to do with me. And then you have situations where when they start noticing people are starting to withdraw their energy too much, now they have to do something like COVID, or they have to do some sort of magnanimous thing. It's like it's like what you see. It's a war tactic, basically. It's a war tactic because it's like they shock you back into obedience. And it's like, let me remind you to give your power back to me, because you withdrawing it too much. I got to get you back in the loop. I got to traumatize you to get you back in the loop so that you can feed your shit back to me, because I need that. Right? So right now it's very tantalizing. It's very tantalizing to get caught up in proving your ability to see what you see. But if you see it, that's for you. That's for you. Like when God speaks to you, your higher self speaks to you, you don't have to go explain it to everybody else, unless that's what you're called to do, if that's a part of your mission. Now, if you're just talking to talk or to gossip, and it's really it's a high level of gossip, because okay, you get online and you say this thing and it goes viral, and all these people agree with you. What you gonna do next? Go to work on Monday and not do shit else? How is that useful? Like, it's not useful at all. And it's an expression, and I get it, because the thing is, we as human beings are put here to express, and that's the okie doke that got us with social media, because at our core, at our human nature, we have to express something. We have to express our truth, and most people can't do that day to day. Most people feel like they can't do that day to day. They are one person, they're one version of themselves on their job. And shit, half of y'all, a lot of people are another version in their relationship when they get home. And nobody ever really sees who they actually are outside of maybe a fraction of their life. And the truth has to come out somewhere. It has to come out, because you will combust if it doesn't. And so the trick of social media, it has given us an outlet to express all our grievances. And you sitting in your bed and you clicking away, just tapping, you just talking and running your mouth, and all these other people agreeing with you, and like, see, if we could all just rise up, we could topple this whole thing. And you ain't even about that life. You don't know how to grow a damn thing. Do you even have a flashlight? If the power went out, do you have a good working lantern, flashlight? Do you got a backup generator? I say this because most of us are not prepared for the system to collapse. As we sit here and we daydream and we salivate over the idea that finally all the corruption has come crumbling down and now we all can be free. And the reality of that shit is, you ain't ready for that. You are not ready for that shit at all. And COVID was a wonderful test to show just how unready everybody is for anything of that nature to happen. The lights didn't even go out and people snapped. Most people, I won't even say most people, but a lot of people never recovered. You see it the way people drive now. You see it the way people act. You see it how vile people are in comment sections, because their mental never recovered. Their emotions never recovered. So while we all can sit here and fantasize about these files and things of that nature that have been released, and it's been over time, the thing is, all of this stuff has been going on. None of this stuff is new. But before, in the Clinton years, and even the Bush years, that nigga was fucked up, but in Bush years is decent. But now it's like everything is just so mediocre. And most people don't have the luxury anymore of burying their heads in the sand of entertainment, or because you, at least then, like in the 90s, early 2000s, especially in the 70s and the 80s, we knew that these niggas weren't shit, but you could at least buy a home. You could at least buy groceries, no problem. Life was easy to fund. Sports was great. Everybody had their thing to keep their minds off of. You didn't really have to think too deeply about it. You had the luxury of not really thinking too deeply about the corruption that we knew was funding our lifestyles and was keeping the veil in place so that we could just keep going. We had the luxury of going along, getting along, going along to get along, basically. Now shit is so fucked up that that luxury is gone. But see, it had to happen. And we're in the age of Aquarius where all truth comes out. And we collectively, I believe, have asked for this. Because everybody is tired of going along with the facade. But nobody really wants to shake things up too much, because at the reality of that is what comes with that. You want the system to crash, but you have if the grocery store is shut down, where you gonna get food? You don't know how to grow shit. You don't have it. You don't have anywhere to grow shit. How you gonna eat? Right? How you gonna function? How you gonna keep your basic life going? You don't have nothing but a comment section. Hey, and this is me included. Like, you gotta, it's an easy thing to get caught up in fantasize about. It's like, man, I wish I could this whole thing could just come crashing down and we can all just be free of all these evil people that are running the world. But that's not it. Could go down that way, but I don't think you really want that to happen. I don't really think you want that to happen. And I think you don't really want that to happen, because motherfuckers couldn't even handle toilet tissue. We have this fantasy in our head about how we're all gonna come together and the world is gonna be a better place. Man, motherfuckers didn't even want you to wipe your ass, nor the rest of your family, because they wanted all the toilet tissue. When it comes down to it and the survival mechanisms are activated, fuck your neighbor. You saw this in 2020. And people like to pretend that that's not how shit goes down when things crash and crumble. So how do you deal with it? You withdraw your energy is what you do. And you get to a place where you can be centered and actually stable to think about how you can change your life in a tangible way on your ground level. That's how we change the world. But they know if they can keep you off your square and emotional all the time, you can't even sit still long enough to think about what you could possibly do to start changing your life today, right now, tonight. You want to go all the way to the White House and worry about voting. You want to go all the way to DC and worry about your congressman. You want to go all the way to Hollywood and worry about what the celebrities are doing or not doing, and this, that, and the third. But you don't want to start with yourself and going to sleep at a decent hour and getting off your phone so that you can be rested and wake up in the morning with a clear mind, so that you can start to figure out, what do I really want to do with my life? Maybe I should start drinking more water so that my head is clear and I don't feel like shit all the time. Maybe I should change my diet. I got the money to buy the groceries that I want, but instead of buying some shit that's going to make me feel emotionally stimulated, maybe I can buy some vegetables or some fruit juice, and then start to remove the distractions and start changing my government and start changing how I function and start figuring out what the fuck my constitution is and how I want to live my life. Maybe I can start there. And that creates the greatest change you're ever going to experience. First and foremost, fuck the president. Who gives a shit? What can you do in your house, in the four walls that you have available to you right now? But see, the easy thing is to give it away. I'm going to go out there and give it to them to do for me, instead of figuring out what I can do right here, right now, today. to start changing my life that I have access to right now. But see, we don't want to do that. We don't want to give up our comforts. We don't want to give up the things that help us stay distracted from the fact that we don't feel good about ourselves and that we don't feel like we're powerful. We want to keep a hold of the things that keep us emotionally stimulated and entertained so we don't have to think about that type of stuff. So when you get caught up in all these conspiracies, yeah, the stuff is fucked up. Of course it is. But at the same time, it's nothing new. And it's not going to stop unless you do something to actually change your life. That term, you change yourself, you change the world, is not just some fluffy jargon. It's true. How do you think real things come into the world? They don't just pop up out of thin air. They come from a person that made a decision in their mind to do it. If your calling is to be an Alex Jones, then sure, get caught up in the conspiracies. Spread them to the world. Do what you do. But even that, like, that ain't helping. That ain't really helping people. Maybe it is. Maybe for some people, because there was a time where when I was caught up in watching people like him, watching the Tucker Carlsons, watching the what's that nigga name? The one who ain't never gonna open a school, stealing everybody goddamn money. You know what I'm talking about. Kente Clough, him, watching his videos, and it's hard. It's easy to get caught up in it and not realize it's not doing anything tangible but feeding your ego, of an egoic need to feel right and feel validated. And it also keeps you in this space of seeing the world in a way that is not going to help you to empower yourself for real. And yeah, you can get outraged, and you can use outrage to get mad enough to do something that is worth changing for, right? You can, but that's also an exhausting way to go about it. The best way to create change is from a place of internal peace. When you are calm, you are open to higher intelligence. You need anger, and you need that high alertness when you're in a situation that's actually, if a tiger is standing in front of you, or a bear is in front of you, you need that alert focus to do what needs to be done right there in that moment. But when you are constantly in emotional turmoil, you don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel like you have the ability to do anything. And so you can use that in a way, and now you try to say, well, I got to prove them wrong and show them that I am powerful. But you giving your power away to them when you do that. You keep your power to yourself when you don't let them get you off your square. And it is about ignoring things. But at the same time, you can ignore something and still have compassion for it. And that's what you have to learn how to do in this chaotic, crazy world. Because if you don't, you are the next thing. That's how they keep beating our ass. The next thing, the next thing, the next thing. You calm down for a little, then they give you something else to be upset about. Then they give you something else to be upset. Now you're just sitting there like, well, what are we supposed to do? The world is never going to get any better. Da, da, da. And now you back in the loop. And now they sucking all your energy up. They charge you up, release it, and feed. Over and over and over and over and over again. They need you to survive, and they have to keep you emotionally charged up and fatigued so that they can feed. If you happy and you at peace, they can't do nothing with that. They keep you on this roller coaster of highs and lows, and until you withdraw it and keep it for yourself, you will never find your power, and you will never find your peace. Your peace is your power. That's what we all trying to get to in this life. Whatever the means is, whether it's money, you think if it's the status, if it's whatever you think it is, the goal in the back of most people's mind is, I'm trying to get to a level of peace. And the truth is that peace can only come from within yourself. That peace is internal, and it's not out there somewhere. But in order to tap into that, you got to stop paying attention to what's out here. And that's where the ignoring thing comes from. Just because you don't pay attention to it does not mean you don't care. You can do both at the same time. Because when you are constantly Venezuela, ICE, the Democrats versus the Republicans, the Epstein files, this, that, you just be like, fuck it, I'ma just tune out and just ignore it. Or you just feel all over the place. You just feel all over the place. And at the baseline of all of it, it's a simple, once you get to this, you really stop paying attention to all of it, because it's all the same thing. They're all corrupt. They're nuts. They're all crazy. They're weak. They're all corrupt. They're weak. They lie and deceive to get what they need. And it's not even that they lie. They put it in front of your face, but they put it in front of your face because that's how the ritual has to work. They have to tell you what they're doing. That's why now they're putting it all in front of your face, because like 2020 was 2020 vision, right? You see things clearly for what they are. So they have to work in alignment with the energy in order to make manifest what they need. What they need is your energy. So they have to tell you what they're doing. The ritual don't work if they don't tell you what they're doing, because they need to get your consent. And the way you get your consent, the way they get your consent is that they tell you exactly who they are. They tell you exactly what they're doing, and you don't do shit about it, and you go along with it. This is what happens with voting. You see every election that they turn out to be liars and thieves. All of them. But they tell you, hey, I know I said that, but this one I'm going to do anyway. Oops. And then what do? You go and join in and follow through again and give them your energy in the next election. And so you give your consent for the ritual to continue through that. And so it does. Why should they tell you? Why should they become upstanding people? They don't have to. They show you exactly who they are time after time through multiple things, decades of evidence, centuries of evidence, and you still go along with it. Are you really upset that they continue to play you? Are you serious? Why? I would too. If I was cut like that, I would too. Play your ass. Because you sitting there letting me do it. But see, you think that the outrage and all of that is the way to stop letting them play you. But see, that's the game. You feel me? That's the game. Because I'll bring it back to a relationship with if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, they need a reaction out of you to keep the game going. They need you to get upset. If you've ever been with someone that gaslights you, or if you ever experienced someone that's a narcissist or whatever, they need a reaction out of you to keep the game going. So they keep trying, they keep testing different triggers to get you to react emotionally. So they're like, yes, I gotta weigh in. Boom. And once they get weigh in, their cord is plugged right back into you. The cord is plugged right back into you, and they do the same thing. They didn't react to this. Like, damn, they didn't get them. Okay, we're gonna do this. Throw that one at the wall. See what happens. Okay. Oh, we got one. Boom, plug right back in. And see, when you have to live like that, you are really poor. you're really energetically poor, and you're power poor, because when you know how to get your shit from within and you're tapped into a higher source, you don't have to keep doing all this shit to do all that, to find a way to get fed. You're a beggar. I don't give a fuck how much money and how much they on TV and how many laws they write or whatever the fuck they do. You are a beggar. You are a homeless beggar, if that's how you got to get by to survive. And if more people realize that, they would be nothing. They already are nothing, because look at how they act. Look at what they have to do. You got to do all this crazy shit just to maintain? Come on, man. And the more you realize your power to determine your reality, you'll stop looking to them, and then you can ignore these niggas. Yes, when you ignore them, they do go away. Because let somebody tell it, I shouldn't be able to walk out of my door and live a decent life at all. You're black, masculine presenting, and a woman? Oh, stone her in the town courtyard. But it don't matter. I don't give a fuck what them people do. I don't pay attention to it, because it has no bearing on my life. It really doesn't. And whatever happens that they do, trust and believe I'ma find a way to get what I want, because that's how this shit works. And until you figure that out, and until you find a way to make that shit work for you the same way, you will forever be at the whim of whatever they decide to do. And it ain't just them, it's whoever's in your life. This shit is about you. You versus you. And until you decipher that equation and come to that realization, it will always be you versus somebody else. Whoever's on the list today. So, conspiracy theories, hey, they're great for entertainment. But once you find the common thread through all of them, literally all of them, there's nothing to go down a rabbit hole about. Unless you just want to be consumed with something that in the truth of it is just consuming your time. And another form of entertainment. And another thing that soothes you from the fact that you don't know exactly what you came here to do. And gives you something to look at, to blame for why you don't know what you came here to do. If you don't got shit to do with that, stop paying it your attention. All of your answers are inside of you. That's all I got.